Welcome to the Go Mining Academy. My name is Jeremy Dreyer. I am the Chief Business Development Officer at Go Mining, and I've been involved in Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining since 2017. I hope you enjoyed these courses. How Bitcoin mining actually works. In the previous lesson, we explored why Bitcoin had to appear in the first place. We looked at the 2008 financial crisis, a pivotal moment when global economy was shaken to its core. Banks that were too big to fail were bailed out while ordinary people lost jobs, homes, and savings. The message was clear. The financial system wasn't just fragile, it was optimized to protect institutions, not individuals. Out of that chaos came the big question. Can we build something better? If you had to rebuild a global financial system from scratch with no banks, no borders, and no central authority, how would you make it work? By the end of this lesson, you will learn what Bitcoin mining is, where new Bitcoins come from and why mining is essential to the system's operation, what makes Bitcoin secure, what the Bitcoin halving is, how it affects miners and why it preserves scarcity. A decentralized system. Bitcoin emerged as a response to the broken system, a decentralized alternative to traditional finance. No central banks, no corporate control, no government-issued currency, just code, cryptography, and community. The thesis for Bitcoin is one of a fully self-contained economy, one that creates its own money, verifies every transaction without a bank, and secures itself against fraud, all without needing anyone's permission to run. At the heart of the system is mining, a word that often sounds technical or mysterious. But once you understand how mining works, the whole system starts to click. Let's trace the life of a Bitcoin, from its creation to its movement across the world, and explore the invisible mechanics that make this decentralized system work. Where Bitcoins come from. As you're familiar now, Bitcoin doesn't come from a bank, and it's not printed by a central authority. It's digitally mined. Just like gold mining brings more of that precious metal into circulations, Bitcoin mining doesn't create new coins, but releases more of the pre-existing supply into the system. But instead of pickaxes in the dirt, this process uses computers and cryptographic puzzles. Here's how it works. Approximately every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network issues a challenge, a complex mathematical puzzle. Thousands of miners, computers, race to solve it. The first one to find the solution gets to add a new block of transactions to the blockchain, and earn a reward in form of new Bitcoin. What are miners actually doing? Miners use specialized computing hardware called ASICs to take a group of pending Bitcoin transactions, add a random number called a nonce. The nonce is the miner's guess, and mining is basically a race to find the right guess that produces a valid block hash. Run it through a hashing algorithm, which is SHA-256 for Bitcoin. They get a hash, a long string of numbers and letters. They check if it's valid. The hash must start with a specific number of zeros. This is known as the difficulty target. When checking the validity of a hash, there are two possible outcomes. If the hash does not meet the target, the miner changes the nonce and tries again millions or billions of times. If the hash meets the target, the miner wins the block, adds it to the blockchain, and earns the block reward, which is currently 3.125 Bitcoin plus transaction fees. This reward is the only way new Bitcoins are created. It's predictable, transparent, and completely digital. No central authority can speed it up or print more. So what happens next? The new block is broadcast to the entire Bitcoin network. Other nodes verify the block and update their copy of the blockchain. The race begins again for the next block, which should happen around 10 minutes later. This process takes millions or billions of tries because the output is unpredictable. There are a few more variables here. Network difficulty. It's what makes mining hard and what controls how fast blocks are produced. Bitcoin aims to produce one block every 10 minutes. If too many miners are solving blocks too quickly, the network makes the puzzle harder by increasing the difficulty. If blocks are taking too long, the network makes the puzzle easier. Why Bitcoin is secure. Proof of work. So how does Bitcoin stay safe if there's no bank watching over it? The answer is proof of work, the same mechanism that powers mining. Every block that gets added to the blockchain is secured by energy and computation. To give you an idea of the scale, as of mid-2025, the Bitcoin network performs around 8,000 quintillion hashes, or guesses, per second. To rewrite a transaction, an attacker would need to redo the work for the current block and every block before it, faster than the rest of the network combined. There's no central server to hack. The network is made up of thousands of nodes, computers that participate in the Bitcoin network, spread across the world, and each of the nodes verifies the transaction and stores the information about it. To break Bitcoin, you'd have to break all of them, and that's never been done. This is why people say Bitcoin is decentralized. It doesn't mean disorganized. It means no single point of failure and no single entity in control. Bitcoin is not invincible. There are potential threats or concerns to the security and decentralization of Bitcoin, such as a 51% attack, nation-state interference, mining centralization. But in practice, the immense cost and coordination required to make these attacks highly improbable on a network as large as Bitcoin's. In other words, Bitcoin isn't secure because it's hidden. It's secure because it's expensive to attack. The halving effect is another crucial notion when it comes to Bitcoin. Mining doesn't simply create new Bitcoin. It's built in a way that is economically designed to last. As a result, Bitcoin has a hard-coded monetary policy. The supply grows at a set pace, and over time, that pace slows down. Every 4 years, the block reward is cut in half. This is called a halving, and it slows down the creation of new Bitcoin over time. When Bitcoin launched in 2009, miners earned 50 Bitcoin per block. Today, it's 3.125 Bitcoin. Eventually, no more Bitcoin will be created. The cap is 21 million. This has two effects. It preserves scarcity. Bitcoin gets harder to produce as time goes on. It changes incentives. Miners eventually rely more on transaction fees than block rewards. Each halving has historically triggered major price cycles because while supply growth slows, demand often continues to rise. In this way, mining is not just a technical process, it's the beating heart of Bitcoin's economy, balancing security, scarcity, and incentives in a way that sustains the network over decades. Bitcoin is often misunderstood as just internet money, but is more than that. It's a full system, one where new money is created through effort and energy, security comes from math, not trust, transactions are verified without banks, economic policy is transparent and unchangeable. And it all works without a CEO, without a government, and without needing your name. You don't need to be a miner to understand or use Bitcoin, but knowing how it works helps you see its true value. A rare, decentralized system where money is earned, secured, and transferred on your own terms. In the next lesson, we'll dive deeper into how to store and secure your Bitcoin, and what it means to take full control of your financial keys.